Ha! And what I'll do is I'll just pause the background music. I just want you to tell me if you can hear the gunshots. Because obviously I can hear it through the feedback here, but I don't know whether it's coming through for you on your side. Because I've got it on monitor only and mute output. So, just a case of if you can hear it, let me know. So you can't hear that, right? Right. So we'll change that to monitor and output. Okay. Give that a go. Any better? Very loud. Okay. Right. Just dial that back in. Okay. Is that better? Ah, yes. Deal with the technical issues early doors. That's how we do it. Fantastic. Right, okay then. How does it look on the in-game? Look okay? Oh, right. Right, so where we're at now is the previous streams we've been working toward the endpoint, which is where we are now. Wells has been taken by the board, and we're going to have to go and get him. So obviously this is the end sequence. So where we go, we'll make that save. And we'll see where we end up. Tartarus. Alright, so I'm pleased to inform you that we've arrived at the labyrinth. Please be advised that the punishment for trespassing is execution. Do you know anything useful? Yeah. Blah 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 blah. Usual dope stuff. Okay.
The interior can be chilly. Take a scarf
Oh,
with
more
you.
Game Pass achievements.
I would also
Yay!
ask that you leave your captain's
Have you seen,
ID with me.
speaking of Game Pass
In the
stuff and Game
event that
Pass
you do
points, I
not
saw somebody
return.
tweet earlier today that their plan is to that they're going to try and get Cyberpunk just on points. So it's like 39,000 points, and they reckon they can do it, which is like craziness. Do you know what, it would be good with the co-op, and you just like you drop in and select one of the companions, and you play as one of the companions. That'd be pretty dope. Have like a 3-player drop in, drop out. That'd be really good. That'd be really good. Nope, you're not
Understood.
getting my captain's
If you
ID.
die or are incarcerated for life, I can. Oh, speak of the devil. Captain.
Okay.
Attention, unauthorized spacecraft. This is a maximum security
Yeah, we know we're
installation.
not supposed to
You are
be here.
hereby confined to your docking platform until
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Wait, this isn't Terra
your
2?
ship is not
Oh.
permitted to leave until you remit payment for your fines and submit
Ah,
yourself
okay.
to exit.
So you have to pay it
Only
before you
after
can
your
get shot.
smoking corpse
That's
is
excellent
thrown from an
news.
airlock will we lift the lockdown on your.
Captain,
Excellent.
I would not recommend this course of
Would not
action.
recommend this course of action. Do you know what? This is why we put all these points into this. Okay, we're going to persuade them.
All right, I'm feeling generous. I'm transmitting the idea of a productive, law-abiding employee. So you, anyway, Tartarus Docking Authority signing up.
Open another
Wait,
ship.
is that from the groundbreaker? What the? Pay no mind to
Off the
that.
groundbreaker.
Transmission
Wait, what?
terminated. Biometric ID. How can I be?
Alright. Let's get to
May
it.
luck be.
Not to it, but to do it. Get that reload in. Alright. So we're going to take the homies with us. We're going to take Parvati and Sam, as we have. Sam was so good. Sorry, just cap that. He capped that for the old thumbnailing. Take the screenshot, damn it. There we go. There we go. There we go. Alright, so Tartarus. So we're going to see how this all plays out. I'm actually really interested to see how this plays out because the story's been quite interesting as short as it's been, and it's been a little bit fetch questy. But overall, the story's been quite interesting in that it's that mix of well, at least from the player side, of what do you think is the right thing to do to resolve these issues, and the overall story of the future of the Halcyon colony being based on the decisions that you make. I've always liked that. It's always been what's drawn me to things like the Fallout games, like The Witcher, for example. You know, these story-driven single-player experiences that have some actual consequences. And I think they've really, Obsidian have really leaned into it with this, with the that familiar sort of reputation system that they put into New Vegas as well. Just really good. Just really good. I'm really interested to see how our decisions up until this point are going to impact the end of the story as we go here, and the decisions that we can make and can't make. Ah, yes, wonderful. Groundbreaker. I wonder which ship from the Groundbreaker that was. Okay, let's see what it do.
The captain did right by us once.
Oh, they're all mad. Are we getting some help here? I wonder if this is because we did the stuff with Parvati and Junlei. Ooh, yeah, because she's in charge of the Groundbreaker, and we got Parvati with us. Okay. Oh, those N-rays, that is so good. Let's just get in here. Yeah, I want to play too. You get this weapon pretty much like, well, the mission before this one, and it really is just a case of, if the game's basically saying to you, yeah, you're pretty much at the end, have what is probably the best gun in the game, because it is stupid how good these N-rays are on this gun. And the way that you can just like blast a group of enemies and just infect them all with N-rays and be like, yeah, well, you're all getting N-rayed. And that's it. It's a Groundbreaker reputation because of the N-rays. Okay, we got him. Ooh, that. Anyone around? No? Okay. That must be in there as well. Okay. Do we need to go upward or... No, that's fine. Open sesame. Yeah, you guys deal with that, it's fine. Alright, let's go. Use. But yeah, it's an interesting thought though, getting a co-op mode going.
This might be the loneliest place in the whole system.
Maybe if they do any subsequent entries into the series, it might be something that they build in. But yeah, just that Fable style drop in, drop out co-op would be enough. It's down here, so that's a restricted access one that side. Alright. We're gonna be sneaky sneaks? Or are we gonna, yeah, we'll be sneaky. You know, actually, we'll go this way. Hello, gentlemen. Nothing to see here, I'm just like you.
Soldier?
Okay, how are we getting over there? Those ladders are the one. So we should have went the other way. Okay. Let's stay close by to these because the droids.
Ooh, careful. Are you new here?
The droids don't like it. They just see straight through your disguise. Screw it. We'll just.
Oh, that's great. Thank
slide
you.
them. It doesn't matter. See, can you see the difference in the camera now, Truds? Now that the sun's started to go down, so the natural light isn't as prevalent now. So you can still see like the lights on here, but it's not as crisp as it was, which leads me to think that I either need to get a ring light for around the camera to shine us up, obviously, or I need to get something to go either side of where the camera is to shine some light in. But I say I need that gear. I've got a light just above my head, which does the job when
Much appreciated.
well, when I need to. Speaking of gear, I mentioned that. Oh crap! I shouldn't have done that. we go. I mentioned that I pulled the trigger on grabbing a new mic, and whilst this headset mic's been solid and is solid, to be honest, I mean, again, I'm not going to stand too hard for SteelSeries, but you know, it's just good quality stuff. Do you know what? Speaking of disco balls, we've actually got one in the so we have the main half of the front room, so you can see like the dividing wall just behind me this side. No, that there, that's it. That's the dividing wall. In the light socket that's there, we actually do have a rotating disco ball that we got for Isla when she was a little bit younger, because she went through a phase where you know, I am actually going to turn this light on. 1 second. Ta-da, I'm back. Yeah, she went through a phase where she really liked colours. I say really like colours, that's a wrong way of putting it. She loves colours still. But she really liked we had a sort of one of the little balls that she had loads of rainbow lights on it, and she loved it. We got a rainbow bulb, and it's like a rotating disco ball, and it's just like, she used to love it, but now she can take it or leave it. But the whole disco ball thing, it's mad, the things that you get for your kids. Ooh. But yeah, speaking of gear, back to where we were starting with this. I mentioned that I'd pulled the trigger on a HyperX quadcast mic, particularly because it had been like given really good reviews by Alpha and by Random Frank P. And to be fair, Random Frank P was just like gushing over it, and very rarely do you see somebody who reviews that much kit be that complimentary for a USB mic. So I pulled the trigger on that, and it wasn't supposed to come until a week on Friday, and I got an email from Amazon today saying that it's coming tomorrow. So that'll be awesome. It'll be great for when I do the video review for this, because I'll be able to do the voiceover with that. Yeah, Random Frank P's, I mean, I watched the video where he tore out with his old one for his new one, and it was just like, man, you're just throwing all this away. But it hurts me a little to see you throw all this away, man. But yeah, so we've got that coming tomorrow, along with the boom arm, the mic arm. So it attaches to that, because it's already got a shock mount on it. So the whole thing's a full setup again, which will be interesting, because I need to get the repair all. I need to work out how I can do the audio, so that I'll probably, until I work it out, I'll still use these for the audio output. I just use the HyperX mic to do the voice work. But I want to work out a way where I can use my earbuds to just have the all the audio run from my earbuds, and then obviously just use the mic for the sake of the mic. But we'll see. I'll have to have a little tweak with that and a little play around and see what's what with it. Grab all these, grab all this ammo. Alright, good. Grab those bypass shunts. Cool. Okay, what's in here? Take, and take. Alright, dope. Next, transition to the pit. Alright then. Bum 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 bum. Alright. Oh. Let's see. Do you know what? Actually, do you know what I didn't do? I didn't turn this back on. There we go. That's better. That's better. Give some of that beautiful ambient music. I'm still at an absolute loss with this this playlist as well that Harris just said, yeah, there's 6 hours of music, just use it. I don't want any royalties, I don't want anything, I'm not going to copyright strike you. Mad. And they're all available from his Discord as well as like individual sound files, so just some people have got this game on lock, yo. What's in here? Oh, a second version of the Vermin. Yes, it's so late in the game to get that. Oh well. Alright, so before we carry on, if you're new and you haven't hit that follow button, hit that follow button. You'll only marginally regret it. What's in storage manifest? Nothing interesting. There's nothing interesting. I was hoping we could turn something on and knock people over, but oh well, maybe not. Anything else? What's this? Steady hand? Oh, we'll take it. Retro rockets. Okay. What's this? So nothing about Wells. I presume Pod 2 is where Wells is. Do you know what we'll do? We'll hang about here, run out of this one, just in case a combat drone sees us, because, like I said, if the combat drone sees you when you run out of disguise, it's like, yeah. Well, intimidating.
Nothing. I was just asking.
Yeah, that's what you get.
I was gonna welcome
You
you
want
aboard.
to start with me? No. No. Good.
Okay.
Alright then. Do. I imagine there's all sorts in here of like of good stuff to find, but I'm not overly fussed to do that. I just want to get to the conclusion of this, because as much as Phineas has had us run around on a wild goose chase to get things, I am really interested to see how the points he wants to, well, the way he wants to save Halcyon are juxtaposed to how the chairman will inevitably say we can't save Halcyon without his plan. So it'll be quite good. What we're going to do, is it going to be, you know, a chaos or order? Always seems to be the way with these sorts of games anyway, that, you know, you get a sword, you get to the end in the way that you want to get there, but you get a binary choice at the end. But hopefully it isn't as stiff as all that, and hopefully the choices that you make actually have a real impact upon the way that the ending plays out. Not like Mass Effect 3, where it didn't matter. I love Mass Effect 3. The way they finish that story though still hurts me inside. Because I mean, I wasn't like overly bothered by it, but it was just a case of it seemed like everything that you did just didn't seem to matter in the end. Are the multiple endings? Okay. I do know that the one of the things that I like about it, and I've written it in like the scripting for the video review, is that although the main storyline of the game is relatively short for like Bethesda-esque, Fallout-y open world RPGs in the way that these are, it looks like there is potential for 3 or 4 playthroughs with different decisions with companions and different decisions on different planets and things, and, you know, picking different sides, etc., and seeing how all these things link together to get you to the end. So I think that that's one of the real strengths of it. Not that I will be playing it through again, but I just think it's really cool that the game's been built in that way, where it might be a little bit smaller in terms of like a point A or point B, if you were to in a linear fashion, but it's got the opportunity to go back and do more and more and see different perspectives on the world. And I mean, there's DLC for this now as well, which apparently is okay too, so fair enough. Alright, so where we headed? Get out of the way. That's where we're headed. Okay, cool. Open. Do not disturb. Okay. Unseal the door. Hello, friends. Ooh, look. It's a green screen. Yay! I wonder if that's an Elgato. Let's have a look. Ah, that's just a painted wall. Psh. These guys, they don't know that they could just get a pull-up green screen. Okay, what's on this terminal? What messages have we got? That's camera stuff. Yeah, man, you know it. You know it. How do you know the chairman's a streamer? Well, do you know, we'll just take all of this, screw it. You know, green screen, camera, overkill on a lighting setup. I mean, man's even got his logo at one point, look at that. You could brand that to pieces. You could see that on everything. T-shirts, hats, backpacks. Twitch.tv/UDL, yo. Alright, so we have to go up to the top, are we? Okay. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. So he is right in the middle. Okay, which way are we going? Let's go. Bum 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 bum. It's okay, don't mind me. Ah, shit. Do you know what? I can see you guys. That's fine, that's fine. I just didn't want the droid to see me. I just didn't want the droid to see me. Alright, I'll do the whole persuade.
Don't tell anyone, please.
Copper Commander, and it's like only needs 40. That's one thing that I remember, like, always with MSI guys. Oh yeah, so we are getting... Yeah, we're getting support from the people that helped us. Okay. Interesting. So that's one of the direct consequences of the decisions that you make. I imagine this part is nuts on supernova mode if you don't do the if you don't put the necessary points in, like persuade and line things, so that you can use the holographic shroud to actually get yourself around. Oh, so they have froze the homies then. Okay.
After all you've done,
there he is.
All the work you've destroyed, all the money you've cost me.
Ah, come on,
Your
Rockwell.
misguided crusade has doomed Halcyon.
I wouldn't say it's doomed Halcyon.
That crackpot's plan is ludicrous. We have steps.
Do you know what? I've really enjoyed it, and I was watching
reports.
the.
All he's got is a guilty conscience and lofty
I don't know why I was watching it, but I was watching a bit of the Fallout
any other circumstance,
VOD
I'd admire your boldness.
yesterday, I think.
In this one,
And
however,
just
I
the
have
difference
two
in
words for you.
me playing
Fuck
this versus
off.
Fallout 76 shows you how much more of a good time that I'm actually having with this versus what I had with Fallout. Like, Fallout felt like it took an awful lot of effort from the player side of things to actually really enjoy and get the most out of what was there. The bloody servers dropping every 2 minutes didn't help, granted, but this just seems to say to you, here's a outlandish, enjoyable, and like zany space adventure. Off you go. Whoa, 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 whoa.
How dare
Whoa, 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 whoa.
you? Even thinking
Yeah,
about
it is, and
killing
it
the
feels...
chairman of the
It's weird as well
Halcyon board
because...
is a felony.
Obviously,
Thankfully,
Obsidian have some
you're in a
history
prison
and some
already.
knowledge of using,
Find the nearest cell and wait until
you know,
I'm
the
done
systems
here.
to build
Then I'll drag you to
Fallout
the
games.
executioner
And I know this
myself.
is built in Unreal and not in the creation engine that Bethesda use, but at the same time is like the play styles and the controls and things are markedly similar to one another. But this just seems to be, even with the start of the game where you don't have very many perks that improve like your weapon sway and things, it still feels, although it feels floaty on controller, don't get me wrong, it still feels like it's much better and much tighter than Fallout 76 was, which is mad considering the amount of money that Bethesda will have thrown at Fallout 76 to get that sort of like even basic side of things off. Again, I'm speaking from a controller's perspective. when I played this initially on PC back in October last year, it was, you know, it was a much more refined and slick experience, and I imagine Fallout 76 is superb on mouse and keyboard. I mean, when I was watching Goth, it looked like he was just easy peasy, and that man is a controller main for most things, so if he's enjoying it like that, then it says an awful lot about it.
Is that what you think you're doing? This path of wanted
But it's just a really
societal
nice game to play.
disruption? You call that being
A nice
a
game,
savior?
that's like a wrong word.
I call it
It's just,
sabotage.
I've enjoyed it.
You know what
There's not been a
Saboteur
part of
stands
it where I thought, oh,
Summary
this is more like work
In the
than a
next
game.
room is the finest
Granted, some of the stuff that
automechanical
that you
purveyor
play
ever made.
is
Try not to scratch the paint with your skull. Was
it can be a little bit
fucking
fetch questy
expensive.
and a little bit reuse how to get from point A to point B, but it's never been without its character and its charm and its authenticity for what it is. I suppose the overall world building helps with that, and the aesthetic. I mean, it does a lot of things that Fallout did really, really well. You know, branching storylines, nice open worlds, RPG fantasy sort of stuff, but it also has that mixture of that sort of outlandishness that you got from the Bioshock series, alongside its similar sort of 1920s, 1930s sort of pastel Art Deco aesthetic as well, which is wonderful, because I mean, I mentioned it at the start of the stream, but the one thing that really, really, really turns me off Fallout games now is how bland they are, and how just sort of beige and boring the worlds are by comparison to other things that are out there. Even Skyrim, which I would die on a hill for. I love that game. When I look at it now, I was actually going to download it on Steam and maybe run a little bit of a playthrough, and I was just watching the trailer stuff that goes along with the Steam purchases, and just thought, this is very, very this is very bland and very samey and very grey, frankly. Especially after, and particularly after you've played the Outer Worlds, which has got so much charm and so much colour to it, that this feels like a step forward for me. But hey, what do I know? I just play the games, I don't make them.
Absolutely not. Akande was always the sociable one, not me. Need I repeat the magic 2 words?
Look, Akande pulled a gun on us. That was not how I wanted things to go. I told her no, and I was quite polite about it. I was very polite about it, in fact. It was like, nah, I can't work for the board. Then she pulls a gun on me. What do you want me to do? What do you want me to do, Rockwell? I can't stand there and let this woman shoot me in the face. The homies, they wouldn't stand for it. They wouldn't stand for it. Fine, let's go and bash his skull in. Where are we going? Okay. That's an all mechanical, so we'll just absolutely rip him a bit with this, yeah? Okay. Ah, it's a 100 lock. Oh well. Ram. Love it. Ah, get him. Ah. Let's maim him. There we go. Ah, the back's the weak point. Hey, nobody does that. No one does that to my Pravai. Pravai, Perbai. Oh, Parvai, goddamn. There it is, there's the weak spot. Hello. Oh jeez, what's that? Pop that. No, Sam, no. Oh, this might not go well. Ugh. Good. Now, we're okay. Come on. Come on. You know, I should have used the, should have got that perk to, pick up enemies when I use, pick up allies when I use my heal. Oh well. Oh well. Win some, you lose some. Just pop you to bits. everybody. Ah, no, everybody. Out. There we go. These companion abilities are so good. Come back on. Wow. I don't want to die, I want to live. I deserve to live. Where my end rays are. Enough of this. Ah, no, I want to live. Let me live. Come on. The end ray is not affecting the mechanical. It would seem that way, wouldn't it? Ah, but it's going to affect you though. Okay. Fire. There we go. Come on, nearly got you. There it is. Bye bye, Ram. Bye bye. Okay. Hibernation key. We take. Yep. Yep. Do you know what? What's in there? Oh, it looks like there must be something good in there. Can I get in there now? Nah. Lame. I'm guessing that my armor is broken. Has it? No. So how come all of a sudden I've got... Oh, whatever. Whatever. Okay. Let's just carry on. Reloaded, good. Alright. Yay, open sesame. Do you know what, actually got the vermin too, didn't we? Let's have a quick look at that before we do anything. 295. Ugh. Yes. I need to change that, don't I? Jeez. 295 on those, man. Jesus. It's like, boom. It's like, oof. It's not okay. It's okay. Anything else? Just have a quick look. We couldn't go this way, could we? What's around? Yeah, I know I said I didn't want to really explore, but still, you've got to just around these areas. There's always a reason to. I'm glad I didn't finish that sentence. This is good. There's no sugar in this. It makes no sense. My tiny brain can't comprehend how there's no sugar in this, but it tastes the way it does. Not going to complain. I suppose that's the reason why I'm not guzzling it. Okay. Hello, friends. And ping. Oop, there it is. Oop, there it is. Okay. What you got on you? Got a champion's key. Oh, we can't talk to him. Lame. I'll put these points in first things first. I see, I'm addicted to Adrenatine. Yeah, I thought that might be the case. Oh well. Let's get up to A. Put the rest in that, screw it. Alright. Use. And... Yay! Alright.
You don't know how glad I am.
Yeah, I'm super glad to see you.
You lunatic. You broke into the board's own fortress and killed the
Yes,
chairman
it was
just to rescue
fun.
one
It wasn't for you.
old man.
Just FYI,
You are
it was
absolutely
to
out
shoot
of your
Rockwell
mind,
in the face after
and
we
I
found
can't
out that he was
begin
just going to
to
freeze
thank you
everyone to save his
enough.
own ass.
All
in a day's work indeed, Phineas. All in a day's
You've
work.
broken the board's stranglehold on this colony, and you saved
Yep,
my life.
we've taken it over.
But there's
So for
still
better,
so
for
much
worse.
we have yet to
It's on
accomplish.
us now. Yay!
You and I are going to have to work harder than ever to save
Yeah.
Halcyon.
Oh, great.
I would like nothing more than to celebrate this victory.
What's the
We have
problem?
a serious-
What's the problem, Phineas?
Earth has gone dark.
Wait,
we
what?
haven't received a single message in 3 years.
So the Earth is gone.
2 years ago, the Earth's Directorate's frigate disappeared on their way back to Earth. We don't.
Great.
We're all alone out here? Really alone?
I'm afraid so, Miss Holcomb.
Well,
Halcyon is
can't
the
go back to
only hope
Earth.
we have left.
Reaper's
Returning
got
to
it.
Earth is no longer an option. We're in serious trouble, my
Right
friend.
then.
Do you know what this means for Halcyon?
Oh. Whoa.
Yes, certainly.
Yeah. What do you think's happened?
I don't know what happened, but something must have gone
So
horribly
Earth's gone
wrong.
silent. You
I
don't
think
even know if Earth's
we
there
have no
anymore.
connection back to Earth, and
Fair enough. Frigate
You might
disappeared.
have heard of the Earth Directorate's frigate.
So
Half
the colony military was there.
was on that ship.
That's
That
not
was 2 years
good.
ago.
That's
We
not,
haven't heard a word from them since.
That's not good,
Whatever
guys. It's
happened
not
to
good.
Earth likely happened to them.
Well. Yeah.
I wasn't trying to hide the truth from you.
So the
but
other
after all
colonists,
you've
like,
done,
yeah.
I
So
owe
basically,
you an explanation.
Phineas was experimenting on other colonists
Yes,
before he got
I
to us.
experimented on the Hope's colonists. You are my first and only success. I didn't.
Do you know what? I forgive him
Thank you.
because we're alive,
Perhaps in time I'll
and possibly
learn to forgive
many other people in
myself.
this colony are gonna live because he
My
brought us back.
apologies.
So,
I need to get a hold of. If you have.
right, no more questions.
Yes, we do. You've done a marvelous thing. You've succeeded where any. We must begin the revival process immediately, starting with the
Right,
Hope's
so it's
brightest
waking
minds.
everybody up on the
We're
hope, huh?
going to need a leader, and I can't imagine a.
I'm gonna do what I've always done, whatever I want, whenever.
You've certainly earned your freedom. Halcyon is a better place with you. You've kept your end of our
Alright.
bargain. Now it's time I kept
So you're
mine.
gonna
I'll-
revive them all,
You're
huh?
the best thing to ever happen to Halcyon.
And the
If
best
you
thing
want
to
take
happen
it upon
anywhere.
yourself
Never
to
mind
lead
some
this
far-flung
colony, you
bloody
have my support.
colony.
We're not a colony any longer. Our future is uncertain, and
Yep.
no one knows what
Yep.
tomorrow holds.
Exciting times. Exciting times indeed. Lifetime employment program ruined. It wasn't even that. It was like it was slavery.
The
Then
OSI teaches that everything in
being
the universe
frozen,
happens
then
according
back
to
to more
the grand
slavery,
plan.
and then being frozen again.
But the stranger that arrived in Halcyon
It just shows you
was
you
an
can literally
unplanned
feed
variable.
people any old shit,
From the
and they will
moment he
just
landed
spoon
in
feed it
Emerald
up
Vale,
without
his
thinking about
actions
it.
altered the course of history. The events on Tartarus brought about the end of the board's authority. But the board's mistakes would haunt the colony for decades to come. The damage they
There we
left
go.
behind would require the work of a generation to repair. Dr. Phineas
you guys hear
Wells
what is
began
actually being said there?
reviving a
Because I
handful
can't.
of the Hope's colonists. Engineers,
Actually, they were going
scientists,
on.
technicians, and
Hang
intellectuals.
on.
They were among the
There we
brightest
go.
minds the Earth had ever sent out into the stars.
There we go.
The Hope scientists and engineers woke up in a colony descending headlong into total collapse. With no way to return to Earth, they had no choice but to band together
Yep,
and devote themselves to the cause of saving Halcyon.
of
The
course.
people of Halcyon were nothing if not hardy. In the absence of the board's authority, many of the colony's settlements banded together with a single purpose in mind:
Okay.
survival. Life was especially hard in the years to come.
Not
Some
bad.
towns dissolved by attrition and starvation, but most of them found a way to carry on.
We survive.
In the
That's what
years
we
to
do.
come, Halcyon was
survive.
forced to reckon with its newfound freedom.
Hmm.
The board was gone, and for better or worse, the colony was responsible for its own destiny.
Which you always should
Sidecar
be.
civil liberties and worker-centric policies were slow to catch on with the other corporations. But as Halcyon began its long, arduous journey toward recovery, many of Terra 2's smaller townships started adopting MSI's alternative corporate structure, and eventually
I liked Sanjar.
became
He was
entirely
interesting, and
self-sufficient.
he actually seemed like he cared.
In the coming years, many of these townships managed to eke by, where otherwise they might have starved. Sublight Salvage adapted to the changes in Halcyon, shifting their business model to suit the times. Their claims of legitimacy were scrutinized, but ultimately unquestioned. Lilia Hagen would continue to protect her family as ruthlessly as ever. Adelaide McDevitt replaced Reed Thompson as the leader of Edgewater.
Interesting.
She and her followers transformed Edgewater in their image. Anyone loyal to Reed was pressured into leaving town, and those who stayed behind adapted to her way of life. Adelaide transformed the old cannery into a new garden. The nearby Edgewater Cemetery provided a convenient source of fertilizer. As for Reed Thompson, it was said that he lasted exactly 2 days outside the walls of Edgewater. Years later, a marauder was found in possession of his hat. Under the leadership of Junlei Tennyson, the Groundbreaker held firm against corporate influence. The ship's mechanical stability gave Junlei the time to educate a promising generation of engineers schooled in her family's traditions.
Excellent.
The future of the Groundbreaker looks promising. The rediscovery of the Hope and the abandonment of the lifetime employment program forced Byzantium to come to terms with some uncomfortable realities about the state of Halcyon. While Byzantines were reluctant to surrender the luxuries they'd grown accustomed to, the board's diminished authority gave them little choice in the matter.
Yeah, it was weird
Nearly
going to
everyone had to
Byzantium
learn
after
to make
seeing
do
everybody
with less.
really
Some
struggling across the
even
entirety
had
of the
to
colony.
get jobs.
And you go there, and it's like
It was a dark
decadence
time
and
indeed.
opulence.
Your influence further cemented Ellie's perspective. She understood she could never truly rely on others,
Ellie
so
was
she
great.
set about making sure she wouldn't have to. With a steady income from the life insurance payouts, she was finally able to afford a ship of her own.
Nice.
She enjoyed a long and infamous career running missions across the system. Some of them were even legal. Life in Halcyon was sobering for Felix Millstone. The grand revolution he dreamed of never came. There was no great awakening for the colony, no celebrations in the streets. There was only the hard, desperate work of trying to repair a broken colony.
He was
Felix
a
never had
socialist,
a
and
head
his
for
ideas
numbers,
were pretty cool.
but if there was labor to be done, he was there to help. Eventually, Felix realized that the work of a revolution was done with 2 hands. As much as he enjoyed his adventures aboard the Unreliable, the vicar, known as Max, eventually decided that it was time to move on, to live out the life he had sought so long to create.
Max had a
He
really
knew there were
interesting
many in the
companion side
colony who
quest
carried burdens
that
much
he was a
worse
priest
than
of
the
the
ones
law,
he had
but he was
struggled
also
with,
a philosophist.
and he devoted himself to easing their suffering wherever he could. He only ever took up arms again to defend the defenseless,
And there
unshackled
was
from a lifetime of striving and fighting the
a scene
universe
where
and
he
himself.
was on like some drugs.
Vicar
He had a bit of
Maximilian
sort of
de
an
Soto
awakening where he
was
realised that
finally at peace.
there is no
Once
order,
the
it's
matter
all
with the
chaos.
Hope colonists was resolved, Junlei bashfully asked Parvati if she'd like to join her permanently on the Groundbreaker.
Hey,
And Parvati enthusiastically, if somewhat awkwardly, agreed. The stories of her adventures spread across the colony, and Parvati soon found herself the center of attention. Having served
I
as
should
the
have heard that.
engineer of a renowned spacecraft, tramp freighters and wildcat miners sought her out by name. And in no time, she was a fixture in the Groundbreaker's mechanical ecosystem. She and Junlei were never far apart. Nyoka returned to Monarch
Really
to
happy
take
about
another crack at
Parvati.
making a permanent life for herself. She formed the Charon Group, an MSI subsidiary of ragtag survivalists and wilderness experts. Anyone in need of a guide, or just looking to throw back a beer and swap stories, could find her camping on the trail or clearing an infestation. The SAM unit that accompanied you spread awareness of the product line's superior sanitation and maintenance capabilities across what was left of the colony.
Sam
This
was
led to a
brilliant.
boost in SAM unit sales. Did
Sam
you
Oakley,
know that SAM
don't
units are the longest-lasting, toughest-acting cleaning solution in Halcyon? As for Dr. Phineas Wells, he spent his remaining years in his orbital lab. He eventually came to terms with his own past and was able to forgive the mistakes of his younger self by devoting his remaining years to serving the colony. Dr. Wells was able to revive many more scientists and engineers than he first expected,
A good man in
thanks
the
to the
end.
additional batch of chemicals you stole from the Ministry. Wells never forgot about the human lives that were lost in acquiring these chemicals. In the end, Dr. Wells was able to save every scientist and engineer aboard the Hope.
Amazing.
Over the next decade,
Best outcome.
nearly all of the Hope's remaining colonists were successfully revived. Halcyon saw a period of rapid technological and scientific advancement. Breakthroughs in dietary supplements saved the colony from starvation. Geoengineering projects and social reforms began to change the structure and character of the
Everyone knows how
colony.
this is broken from like what they were
Dr. Wells
literally
laid
just
the
saying.
groundwork for the project to save the colony, but he would never live to see the fruits of his labor. He passed away a few years later. His work was carried on by the scientists and engineers he revived.
Fair enough.
Today, Halcyon has stabilized. The people of the colony work hard to adapt to their new circumstances. Nearby colonies send aid and supplies. Life will never be easy in Halcyon, but for the first time in its history, there exists a sense of real, genuine hope about the future. And what about you, the unplanned variable in the history of Halcyon? You brought an end to the chaos in Tartarus and left Dr. Wells to his own devices.
Mm-hmm.
The affairs of the colony never distracted you from living out your own dreams, to captain
Why
a
should
ship, to sail the ether, and to earn a reputation as the greatest spacer Halcyon ever had.
Obviously.
No one knows what's happened to Earth, and no one knows what the future has in store for Halcyon. All we know for certain is this: the name of the Unreliable and that of its intrepid captain will remain the subject of countless stories for years to come.
All right then. All's quiet for now. Well. Well. That deserves a clap. That was really, really good. Very, very impressed. Well. So,